Yo!
Yayo Talk Show!
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Katie.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show, this group of four friends been going for 1,000,000 years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yayo Talk Show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
What's up, wenches, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome aboard the most chaotic One Piece on the Grand Line Internet.
Podcast.
Yay!
What did I call? Wait, what did I say? I blacked out. What happened?
You forgot the word podcast.
The most chaotic One Piece?
It's the most chaotic One Piece, which is a treasure at the end of the Grand Line, which might or may not be the friends we made along the way.
Is it?
We don't know yet.
Is it? I guess we'll never know. The end. Welcome to
Sponsored by Tootsie Pop.
Welcome to our post time skip episode. It's been 2 years since we recorded, and oh boy, is that chaotic energy just here. Let's introduce to everybody that's been talking. First, the captain of the Crudo Pirates, Molly D. Simpy.
Did you hear that? I just muted.
Oh God, no one's gonna get that.
You didn't
I did. No, you just didn't. You didn't see.
We heard your chuckle. I muted.
That wasn't what I muted for. Shut up.
Somehow, it's become more difficult. But
No, end of statement. That's it. That's all.
Mark asks for his life to be easier, and then we make it more complicated.
This is literally that is the Star Wars credit roll thing at the beginning of the podcast. Instead of
at the
somehow
beginning of the podcast,
instead of somehow Palpatine has returned, it's like somehow it has become more difficult. And then it's
just the opening crawl. It's only that sentence.
And that's it. And it just like it holds on that for like 2 minutes, and then it fades down onto the ship.
And it's just me with my hands on my forehead.
You're sitting on the throne.
One hand
on the floor.
One hand on your forehead, the other one holding an entire full bottle of extra strength Tylenol.
Oh, I was going to say a giant Toblerone, but yeah, that works too.
Baja Blast.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wild theorist, Kaden Jensen.
Hi, I remembered that this is a podcast, and that is going to be my claim to fame for this episode.
At least somebody did.
You know what? I might come up with something funnier, but don't bet on it. Don't bet on it.
You know who will come up with something funnier, and this will put all of the pressure on him. Al McClellan.
It's me. Now there's God. Funny joke everybody liked.
And now I've got somebody joining me on the floor, and it's Al. And I'm the internet's gentleman, Mark B. Donica. The B is, of course, for Bwansman. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about the real beginning of One Piece, which is
517 episodes later. We're starting the show.
We're just starting. Actually, you know what?
You take two.
You bring up a great point, Caden. Speaking of like numbers and episodes or chapters, what chapter are you on?
Let me check. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm checking. Hold on. The phone.
We're doing
Holding several phones.
We're doing elevator music for you.
I am currently on chapter 635 of the manga.
No.
Nice. So you're
I'm cruising.
in the next arc.
So this would be the part of the show where we would read off, like iTunes reviews and things of that nature.
I'm gonna review right now.
However, you know what? Can you? That'd be great. And I'll just say this is from an anonymous. Show good, don't do. I'm not going to read it this episode.
Molly, I can hear you typing.
Yeah, that's the point. I did that on purpose to make it sound like we were writing reviews.
Oh, I thought you were.
You've ruined the illusion.
Yes, that's what's ruined. tantamount of nothing. We're at it. Oh man, I'm so excited. Like, so we're doing a double record today. I'm excited for the second one. If this is the energy that we're starting with on the first one. So with the time skip, back onto it. Leave a review. Damn it, is what I'm trying to say. Leave more reviews so that we can give something away. This also begins the era of an all-time anime opening, if not just a One Piece opening. We Go is one of the most hype anime openings, let alone One Piece openings, ever. And I just need to make sure that I started with that.
We Go is great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm waiting for the weekend.
You're right.
We go, we can.
We do.
We did.
Bringing my Obama joke back.
I like how Molly, before we started recording, was like, I'm gonna step back.
Well,
This
we're not there yet. We're not in the actual episode.
I'm gonna talk less, Molly.
Well,
immediately.
why?
Hey, hold that thought, Molly. Molly's talking.
Hey, Molly, shut up. I'm Molly.
You think I listen to myself?
I mean,
No.
maybe.
I hope so. We need to
Just let
prove
that one
these
linger.
episodes before they come out, because if they're not funny, what are we doing?
Oh,
Man, what have we been doing?
is that why we didn't get a review?
Here's one of my favorite things is if you do something that you enjoy doing for yourself, who gives a crap? But
True.
despite all of that, leave us an iTunes review, please. And follow us on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.
We listen. We don't care if you leave a review, but please, God, leave us a review.
Please, God.
Leave us a review for my sake, so I don't have to keep coming into everyone's channel and being like, "Caden's not paying attention to me."
Pay
need a
attention to
review.
Molly. Leave a review.
I need a review. so
Molly,
someone
it
pays
was
attention
like
to me.
1:30 in the morning.
Yes. And then you had all the time in the morning to respond to my jokes,
I
and you
woke
did
up
it.
late because I was up until like 3.
In case the listeners want to know, last night in spoilers chat, I was just absolutely annoying the Buggy Boys, and then I was like, "This isn't spoilers. I could just show Caden this, and she'll think it's funny."
Yeah,
And
but
then
you
she
didn't
didn't
show all of it though. Like you showed just the you two trying to sleep, and then hey, remember? Do you think Oda will remember to draw Garp hot? And what you didn't post was Al and I asleep.
Well, you hadn't posted those yet. You hadn't posted those images yet.
You just walked into the bar and said, "Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?" And that's
Exactly
what?
what it was. Oh God. Yeah. And man, good stuff, everybody. And that'll do it for this episode.
Thank you for joining
Good
us
job.
on Yayo Talk Show.
Follow us
Al,
on social media.
Solid jokes. Mark, great intro.
Hey, thank
Molly,
you.
thank you for the energy. All
Good
right.
muting, Molly.
Good
Thank
muting.
you.
Good job muting.
Solid,
Didn't hear a
solid,
thing.
love it.
Yeah. See, this could easily be avoided if you left a review.
It's been 2 years
One
since
week?
we've started the episode.
Oh God.
Or at least it feels like it. So when we've jumped forward we've jumped forward in time, and we've got Luffy picking his hat back up off of the Daft Green, which you could hear us talk about in a previous episode about Strong World.
It's not been 3D, but it has been 2Y.
You can't. God damn it!
I haven't seen it yet. Stop talking about it.
You've seen Strong World. You've seen.
No, 3D 2Y. I haven't seen it yet.
Yep,
You just read it. That's the
That's the name of that arc of Luffy's.
Wait, I thought there was a.
There's a
movie
television
now.
special that does that in a different way, but it's just sort of like a shorter recap of
Man,
that
how
arc.
the hell am I supposed to figure out the shit when they?
Well, we tell you.
Ah!
We tell you.
And then there's the alternate universe where Chopper joins last. And
No,
everybody's
don't watch
confused or
that.
whatever.
Don't. I will
It's not
fight.
bad.
I will fight.
It's not bad.
And then there's the space version of One Piece. Space.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
That's endgame shit.
Yeah, that's after
There's
this.
a Marvel movie for One Piece. I'm tired.
Cool.
Anyway, Shabooty.
Sorry, where are we going?
One of my favorite things that we see immediately of showing that Luffy has sort of like grown, like not just taller, but he grabs the hat,
Wider.
does a show of his hockey against like the animals just to be like, yo, you boys behave. And then Hancock's like, yo, let's get married. And Luffy's like, I'm not gonna marry you. Like, which is
I gotta go.
just sort of a thing of It's been 2 years. How long has Hancock been a part of that and been around, and how many times did it take for Luffy to go, "Oh, no. We're not
That's not no.
That's not going to happen. I appreciate that's very flattering, but no thank you."
I always thought that was crazy because after like 2 years, it's like Luffy's like a little self-aware. And I remember like rereading that part and being like, wow, this is like just like it's not OC of Luffy, but I was like surprised by like, but then again, if you're doing it, if it's like every other sentence is will you marry me, I guess at some point you pick up on it.
Ace Luffy confirmed again.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. That's what's happening.
And so the world has changed further than we talked about. Like from the direct result of Marineford, there were some small changes that happened, but we find out that because of the war, as well as I imagine 3 pirates very easily circling the island and approaching the center and ringing the bell, they decided to move their base further into the new world on the other side of the red line. So we know that. We know it's called G1. We don't know much about that. Brook's been on tour for 2 years straight and is playing his final show on the island. And, as a bit of a teaser, I guess, his wanted poster being him when he was alive probably helped with his anonymity just a little bit. I have to ask this question once we meet everybody. Sanji's back and more problematic than ever, but that doesn't matter.
I will break his legs.
This was even worse. The one thing that I like about it is they made his nosebleeds like real to the point where when they meet up with Chopper, like, oh my god, he's losing so much blood. Like, stop! You're going to die if you don't stop being problematic.
My favorite part is that they switched his bang side, and we find out he has a stupider eyebrow.
That's right. I forgot. Yo, I'm gonna rock this, and it's gonna be high fashion, and everybody else went, nah.
Everybody was like, it's got to be symmetrical, and it's like, you thought.
You thought.
That
Sanji's
too.
a thought.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we get introduced to my favorite. Well, I mean, my favorite comedy thing of these next couple of episodes is that there is a random assortment of pirates that have assumed the identities of the Straw Hat crew, and my favorite thing about it is that they're all voiced by each other. So, like, the person who voices Brook voices Frankie. The person who voices Sanji voices Luffy, and that like sort of exchange and seeing those actors have fun in those roles is it's like top tier gag for me. What was everybody's reactions when we met the fake Straw Hat?
These nerds.
Yes. But I think my favorite gag with this is the whole Chopper like introduction to them, because
sweet summer child.
sweet summer child. Just every kid that went to the mall with their parents sees someone wearing the same jacket, completely different person, follows that person, and just, oh no, you're not my dad.
I just appreciate Chopper like seeing these people who don't look like don't look like his friends, and he's just like, no judgment. He's like, oh my god, it's been 2 years. I'm so happy to see you. It's like, good for you, Chopper.
I have no idea how people change over the course of time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chopper got smaller and more adorable, so like
I would have figured out how to draw mascots.
legitimately it was just like Chopper's just like, who knows how things work for other people? It's just like, I got smaller and cuter. It's like, okay.
I love when people compare the time skip Chopper to the very first time we see Chopper images.
Actual reindeer as opposed to mascot.
As opposed to
Reindeer
Uwu.
to baby Yoda.
Uwu.
So I guess I'll ask this now instead of at the end. Whose redesign is your favorite of the Straw Hat crew?
Favorite?
Favorite.
Mm-hmm. Usopp.
Excellent choice. Yeah. Usopp
going from I'm on this journey just because I kind of want to see some stuff, and I'm apprehensive about everything, to Usopp ready to like beat the hell out of people and actually like being the badass that he always was and like owning that and seeing that in physical form is really nice.
Acknowledging his fear.
Yes,
And
just, like,
working in spite of that.
yes, exactly. This is like that was, I think that was the one that like hit me the most. I also want to note that yes, both in English and in Japanese, they do kind of do some shuffles with the with the voice actors for the fake for the
So
fake
good. And like they could have gone with the easy joke of making fake Chopper like a tanuki. But he's just a fox in a hat.
He's just a fox in a hat, yeah.
He doesn't even talk.
They screwed it up so bad.
It's just a fox in a hat.
I think Caden's right. I just looked up an image to compare everybody and their glow ups, and Usopp. I really think like Usopp is my favorite. Everybody else just looks like themselves. They're just like either
I don't know about that.
more themselves, or they have long hair now, or like they're just more of what it's like. Frankie and Brooke are more of who they were.
Different. Something different.
Frankie,
come on, Robin. Why is Robin white? Stop that!
I'm getting there. But like Frankie and Brooke are more of who they used to be. They're just more of that now. And then Chopper,
definitely more.
And then also like Zoro and Sanji are just more of who they used to be. And then Usopp is the only person that had like an actual glow up. He looks like he's like different from before. Luffy just is wearing different clothes. And then
he's a little taller. He's stretched out a little bit.
It was for him. It was more of an outfit change.
In terms of like the ladies, like all they did was they just gave them longer hair, bigger boobs, and then they made Robin white. And I miss her bangs so much. I miss her bangs.
I also miss her distinct like nose. Like she had a very like distinct facial features for Robin. And like I don't let me pause here. I do not hate the new design for Robin. I just love the old one way better because it felt more unique, more to her character, and it feels like the redesign for Robin is just, well, let's make her more like everyone else. I'm like, no, it was the best when she wasn't that because she never was. She was so, where's my yeehaw?
I was about to say the distinct lack of yeehaw energy is apparent.
She went on vacation. She's just in vacation clothes now.
She's more rockabilly and less yeehaw.
Yeah.
I just and then
mom energy.
SBS Oda, people were like, Oda, why did you make their boobs bigger? And Oda was like, well, you see, they've aged. And it's like
Oda, no.
Time. And it's like Oda, like Robin's already well into her like 30s, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I could probably buy Nami, whatever. That's like a difference between a teenager and coming into like your early 20s, whatever. But come on, man. I don't know.
No, we all know, and it's not great.
It sure isn't.
Man, though, I'm so happy for Usopp. Like, damn, he went from like, I don't know what he went from, but now he's got that thoughty energy.
Can we talk about Frankie for a second?
Absolutely.
Yes,
please. Al, can you please talk about Frankie for a second?
Well, so, is that your favorite redesign, Al?
Yes. I mean,
all right, let's go.
Everyone knows and probably won't be surprised that my favorite glow up has got to be Sanji. I mean, Frankie.
For safety's sake, say Frankie, please.
Frank.
I'll cut that out.
Oh, no.
To that.
But like all of the gadgets we see in this moment are just like quality of life gadgets. It's like, I made myself a giant robot. Oh wait, these giant robot hands. And so he has tiny little normal sized hands inside of his giant hands. And they can't all be winners. He also has nipple lights and a bunch of other things.
Customizable hair. With the push of his nose.
He can press his nose, change his hairstyle instead of like painstakingly switching it between arcs. He can just on the fly decide what it is. It's great. Like,
also the dad energy. Like to me,
yes.
he fully accepted the dad energy of his role on the ship, And like when Usopp and Chopper and Luffy for like a split second see him, he just goes eek-a-sha, eek, like he starts acting more like a robot.
Yes,
And
for their benefit.
Just for them to be like, I'm the coolest dad, I'm a robot. Adds mecha at the end of his.
He's like,
so good.
He's like, what if they don't notice I look different? I better ham it up.
I gotta add these sound effects.
Especially because like right before when he met up with Robin was like, oh, Frankie, what's up? And he's like, notice anything? She's like, well, you
leans in.
You're definitely the same person. You're definitely the same person that I remember. Oh, well.
You certainly are Frankie. And he's like, wait, did I not change that much at all? I need to rethink about this. What else do I need to change? And Robin's just like 100% just like, I wonder how much I can mess with him. I wonder how much I can mess with him here. I could probably really mess with him.
Putting her spy training to work.
It's 2 years of consistently skipping leg day. Why don't you notice my arms? Also, on his arms, the only thing still meat are his biceps. It's like, I need to preserve these.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being Frankie and immediately be just like, hey, everybody, you notice anything different? And then like having the entire crew just be like, yeah, what the hell happened to your legs, dude?
No.
Hey, yeah, did you fix that centaur thing? Did you finally get that centaur thing right? The what?
Yeah, did you get it going? Because like, dude,
why does everybody always remember that part?
Why? What's up with the twink legs? What's going on here?
I'm thinking of that meme. I have to find it again. Google's not finding it for me, but that one meme where it's like Saturday morning on the Thousand Sunny, and it's just that picture of Frankie on like a riding lawnmower drinking a beer, and like you're trying to sleep, like it's like the gardeners are outside your window because there's grass on the Thousand Sunny. I have to find it. It makes me laugh.
That's so good. I want to. There's an updated King of the Hill lineup with One Piece characters that I need to see. The only person that we didn't really talk about is Brook, and to be honest, I think it's fine. You know, it definitely leans into the rock star aesthetic and the rock star lifestyle that he had, but he was a gentleman skeleton. That was good for me.
That was good for me. I kind of like it, and it seems like he tones it down a little bit. Like after that, so it's like he throws away a little bit of the stuff after this. He keeps
very heavily leaning into Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, he loves the boa.
He keeps. Yeah, I honestly, who doesn't love a nice boa though?
Fair enough.
I don't want to get too. I do not want to get too far away from one thing about Frankie, because there's my favorite part about new Frankie design is his giant hands. And they're just like, well, how are you going to do delicate things?
Yeah, and then
like
tiny hands.
The little like
wipes a tear with his tiny little.
The fact that they ask about it, and then he has this little hole in the middle of his palm, and it opens up, and a little extendo arm comes out with tiny hands, and I'm just like, this is both deeply unsettling and absolutely incredible.
Go Gadget, tiny hands.
Exactly. Very Inspector Gadget.
I need this.
The little trap door in the palm of the hand. There's just something about. Listen, okay. So
what else has he got up there?
If it's Usopp as number 1 for me, Frankie is a hard number 2.
Nice.
Just because of how fun his design is and how just like he's very like this is the peak masculine form, and it's like
absolutely.
You know what? Okay, you're right.
Dad skill in form, like that's peak dad.
Dad skill in form.
Yeah, dad skill. That's so good. God dang. In all of these meeting ups, we see more of the fake Straw Hat crew, and the order in which people arrive is sort of hammered home. Are you surprised that Zoro was the first person?
Yes. I'm surprised he made it there at all.
I mean, sometimes being lost means you showed up at the wrong time.
It gives him more time to be a mess up.
That's why he left so early, is that he can get there semi-close.
He finished like 3 months in and was like, yeah, just take me back.
I'm gonna be real. There is almost a possibility that in that time period where if he did leave early, just to make it's like, I got to make sure that I get there on time, that he got so lost, he ended up at the One Piece. It's like, this isn't where I'm supposed to go, and then came back.
That
There's
is
a
very
flashback of
high
that.
possibility. Hayden, that is, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest prediction you have ever made.
That's what I want now, is they get to the One Piece and Zoro's just like, oh, I've been here
I've been
before.
here.
And everybody's like, what? It's like, yeah, that 2-year gap, I got lost, and it took me a while to figure out my way. So I found this place, and I was like, this isn't where I'm supposed to go. And then I left, and then I ended up with like this place with all of these Amazons. And Luffy's like, I was there. It's like, well,
Oh,
when were
really?
you there? It's just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, they beat the hell out of me. So I left. And then I found this place with
Zoro
all these
himself on
fishmen.
every island.
He just went everywhere. He goes to the next arc already. It's just like, yeah, I went to this place like Fishman Island, but that wasn't here. And then like they go there next. He's like, yeah, I've been here before.
he shows up in downtown and everybody goes, it's that guy.
Don't tell anyone I'm here.
Drink all our booze.
Look, I might already be a wanted criminal. We just landed here. Look, I've done some things.
I'm gonna stay on the ship.
I'll be real. Even
That's why
I
he
don't know
stays on
where
the
I
ship?
went to.
He's like, but Zoro, it's the One Piece. He's like,
I saw it.
tell me how it is.
It's not my thing.
You're gonna bring it to the ship anyway. It's fine. I'll wait here. It'll be great.
You'll tell me. We'll laugh about it.
Yeah, it's more about Luffy anyway. Luffy, go ahead and go. I'm gonna go and train below decks. You know what? I'll see y'all later.
He looks over the
he's
ship.
gonna train above deck because they have the gym up top.
Mhm.
The little bulletin board right next to the One Piece. Please do not serve this man.
Entirely.
What happened? Where did
What were we
just
talking
go?
about?
What
What
were
were
we
we
talking about?
Zoro got there first.
Zoro being amazing. As we're introduced to the fakes, we also start seeing the crew start to reconnect. I love that Nami and Usopp saw each other first, for them, saw each other first, because they were always sort of like the two, quote, normal people. And it's such like a regular conversation between these two of just like, dude, Usopp, you got hot, dude. And he was like, I mean, yeah, we're on a ship with monsters. I had to do something. And there's a boob joke in there, but whatever. Moving past that, just to have this like, shut up. I'm talking to my friend. Leave. I don't want to drink. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm talking to my friend. Please leave us alone. And they totally annihilate the fake Straw Hats that are there. But I love that those are the two that find each other.
Well, and they both get to show off all the new things they did, going from being terrified of everybody else.
And like, not even like, one of my favorite things about this arc is everybody just gets you just get a taste. You just get a little glimpse of what everybody is capable of.
They're all yoked.
You don't see them go all out. And waiting for that opportunity is like the best sort of anticipation for this show. Of like, oh, I know they learned something new. When are they going to apply it?
Yeah, like the bar has moved and we don't know how far yet. And
Yes.
So I will say this: the return to Shabooty, which is why do we keep saying it loud? Sabaody, jeez,
Shabooty.
because I'm so used to Shabooty. It's Sabaody.
The island that's hard to get to.
The whole like return to Sabaody, it's okay. Like it's short. It really is kind of a. Yeah, all right. Kind of an arc in the grand scheme of things. It's a nice like
The grand line of things.
reset and everything like that. But if I was to say my biggest takeaway from this whole thing is seeing Usopp and Nami before, like at the end of Sabaody, and then seeing them here, being the ones to immediately confront the entire crew of fake Straw Hats. And not only take them down, like with just like in general, just like, oh, they were going to start stuff and immediately got shut down, but they didn't even try. Nami and Usopp didn't even try. And then like it's these fake Straw Hats. They're not the strongest pirates. But they still made it to Sabaody. They still made it here.
That's true.
They're still here, which means they're not to be trifled with. They're not like super dumb. They're cocky. They're not unskilled. They made it here. And Nami and Usopp, who really could not hold their own worth a damn before, without breaking a sweat, were just like, yeah, can you shut up for like 2 seconds? Handled that and just walked out. That sold the return to Sabaody perfectly for me, specifically because I don't need to see anybody else. If you tell me this is where the baseline of the crew is for the quote-unquote weakest 2 members have ended up, we're only going up from here. Like this is where because nobody else really flexes. Nobody else really flexes because they don't need to. Like they show up and they're just like, Nami and Usopp can handle it. It's like, Nami and Usopp can handle it. Nami and Usopp couldn't handle a fight like with a wet paper bag before. They got lucky. They had to like really outwit, outmatch, outsmart, and outplay everybody. And now you're just saying that they can handle it, and then they do.
Thousands of sit-ups later.
And it's like, oh, that's where we are. Because like you take a look at Usopp and Nami in this, they like where I feel like if you had dropped either of them at that point back to Skypiea, it would have been just like, yo, y'all can sit down. I got this one. And it would have been easy. It would have been no problem. And that's where like things just kind of became real. So when you said that this is the start of One Piece, that's why I felt this is like the real beginning, because like, oh, that was that was 516 episodes of training montage, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Like that's one of my favorite things about this is it feels like Oda wanted to tell the story of this kid going back, and as he was like, oh, well, I need to tell how this happened. Oh, I need to tell. You know what? Why don't I just start the story 2 years ago? You know, and that's when One Piece quote started because like even if you go back to his before One Piece manga that is referenced a lot in and around One Piece, and some characters are like the same as theirs, so it's still technically a part of One Piece, but it's still a thing of like he has this idea of scope and fills in all these tiny little details in between that you don't even remember until years down the line, except for Caden, who can call something in goddamn Alabasta. But that being said, it feels like he wants to tell a complete story and not leave anything unturned, which is why looking forward to where we're going and where the current day show is, you know, there's still things that are being paid off. There's still things that are being introduced, and whether they're being or they're being paid off in the short run or the long run, there's still this thing of he's had this idea the entire time in his head, and has been slowly and agonizingly working it out and showing us and bringing us into this world. And the thing that struck me the most about this arc we're going to get to in a little bit, my favorite thing about Nami and Usopp's scene is we go immediately into Chopper getting lost and trying to catch up with the fake Straw Hat crew, being like, who's this freak? We see Luffy in disguise. He's got a backpack full of lunches and clothes and things from the Kucha Pirates. But we see him using Haki right away. We see him using King's Haki to make the imposters pass out, but that gets him on their bad side, who can't recognize his face. We see Robin meet up with Frankie, which is all covered in bubbles and looks great. It's great to see the ship after so long. Chopper goes off on his own because Robin, the fake Robin, gets captured by the Marines, because they're like, there's a report sized Robin. There's a report that Nico Robin is on the island. We got her. But all of this rumbling of the Straw Hat Pirates, the fake Straw Hat Pirates, happening to come back together at the same time that the real ones are, got the attention of Sentomaru and the Pacifistas that are here, and a whole bunch of Marines to make sure that that business does not go down. So now we know that there is a heavy military presence on the island. The Straw Hats don't. And now we have tension. People are still finding each other. We need to get back together. We need to get off this rock immediately. Sorry. Go ahead.
My favorite part about like Luffy, because everybody's got like a little experience from the last 2 years from the places they've been, that Luffy's vest that probably got destroyed was recreated by the lovely ladies on Amazon Lily. And it's like that's the reason why it has frills on it, is because it's like,
I didn't put that together. Yeah.
And I love it. And then it just becomes this ongoing theme with the frills. And it's like started with the Amazon Lily ladies, because it was the previously, before the time skip, when Luffy was on Amazon Lily, the change of clothes they gave him were just covered with like little knickknacks and stuff. And he was like, quit it. And they're like, oh, sorry, that's just that's our brand. And he's like, less of that. And they kind of like recreated his vest, but like they couldn't help putting frills on it, and that's why.
And there were like little sunflower patches on it or something, so he had to turn it inside out.
Yeah,
at first.
That's right. I didn't put together the sleeves. It was just sort of like anime protagonist design to me.
Yeah, kind of piratey, flowy shirt.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's so iconic. It's like that. It's grown from that. Like everybody was influenced by redesigned Luffy, so you see it in a lot of other places.
I think there's a throwaway line when they drop him off where he's like, thanks for the new clothes or something, and it's like, yeah, sorry, we'll get it next time, or like we'll get the design right or something.
You're right. All of the little design things that we got to see with the Kuja Pirates and Luffy. I wouldn't think that anybody would get confused about seeing their crewmates after so long and like really wanting to miss them. I'm not necessarily surprised at Chopper. He's just too innocent of a good boy. But when it comes to Luffy, are you surprised that he bumped into quote Sanji and quote Zoro and was just like, yeah, these are the guys?
No, not at all.
It's another one of those like no judgment, sweet, like just happy to see you. It's been 2 years.
It's like, oh, you guys look weird, but it's great to see you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, but it's nice to be back.
I'll just ask about it later.
Do you think Luffy would wear jeggings? I'm just asking.
No,
Depends.
because I feel like he's got to be free, right? And
well, I mean, they're stretchy though.
No, I think they're too constricting.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, his new shirt has ruffles on it. Nothing like the air just grabs it. It just goes right through it.
Mm-hmm.
Jorts are too constricting.
Okay.
Absolutely. Good.
No, not jorts. Jeggings.
Jeggings are too restricting. Censor that.
Hold on. Got it.
Thank you.
All right, we got it. Chopper coming back to the crew and being like, oh my god, we have to help Robin, and all of the fakes being like, no we don't, get out, get lost, loser. And so he does, and it's just like, I'm gonna find Robin, you guys are terrible. And he ends up bumping into the real Nami and Usopp, and they're like, yo, what's wrong? And he has this like cognitive dissonance of like just being with Usopp and Nami, and then these two people that say they're Nami and Usopp, he's like, wait, but you this poor young child.
And then he doesn't put together that any of the other ones could also be fake. It's just, only those two. Okay, moving on.
Oh, so those two were fake, but everybody else is there.
Everybody else is totally real. All right, yeah, okay.
Now, my second favorite thing, just because it's so one of my favorite things that balances Zoro out, is how just we were talking about how clueless this man is. When Sanji's out shopping for food, stops at a fish market, and he's just looking out to the sea like, oh god, I messed up. What happened? This guy came. He was gonna go help me fish because he wanted to fish, but he got on a pirate ship instead, and it sailed off, and I'm worried about him. And a pirate ship cleaved entirely in twain.
First mistake.
Breaks the water surface. And this crew of pirates is shouting at this man, Zoro,
Curse
who's
you!
sitting as as stoic as he possibly can be, badass new design, scar over his eye, and just goes, "Aw, beans, I got on the wrong ship, didn't I?"
Aw, beans. I don't know why. Can I get? There's got to be. I'm either gonna have to do one of two things. I'm gonna have to do one of two things. I'm going to have to go through Chris Sabat's entire history of VO and see if I can see if he ever said "aw beans" in character before, or two, ask him personally. Go on Twitter and be like, "Hello, Mrs. Sabat. Can you say "aw beans" for me?"
Here's what we need to do. We need to similar to we did with this could have been an email. We need to change the text in that frame to be "aw beans, wrong ship," and then circulate that so that people see it, and then all turn to Chris Sabat and be like, say the thing.
My headcanon here is that he just spent 2 years on an island with Mihawk, who has some type of guardian energy, and got scolded every time he actually swore. And now he has like the impulse to make sure he censors his own swears.
I'm gonna be around Chopper again. I should really be mindful of my words. Aw, beans, I'm on the wrong fucking ship.
But also like with that, we also have like when Zoro and Chopper meet up, they're like that energy, that dad energy, or like big brother, little brother energy, like picks up right where it left off, and it's just like, oh, so cute. The swordsman with the heart of gold. You know who doesn't have a heart of gold, and you know who I absolutely hate are the Caribou brothers.
My God.
I hate these, like, oh my God. Just gross.
Yeah.
Slime.
Yes, I totally know who you guys are talking about right now.
Okay, so wet hair caribou.
Remember.
Who's
wet
the
hair
swamp
caribou.
boy?
Yes.
Swamp man.
Oh, this guy. I don't remember his name. I just know he's nasty.
And then blood spattered. Is that the other one?
Ugh.
The one with the lizard for hair.
Yes.
Chameleon
sitting on his head.
Welcome to One Piece, everybody. Welcome to One Piece. If this is your first episode of listening to Yayo Talk Show, I want you to understand that is not a weird statement ever. The one with the lizard hair. Yep.
This guy was so stupid. When he went bald, he picked up a lizard and went, that looks like a mohawk, put it on his head, and it lives there now.
That's where it lives.
Or at least that's my headcanon for this terrible, terrible character. We're starting to meet sort of the greasy underbelly of what Sabaody, Archipelago has turned into.
We'll remember it eventually.
Never.
But we get to see the gross underbelly that this area has become since the Marines have moved out. And so we see these gross, like, murderous pirates that are starting to like operate out of here as this checkpoint into the new world. And the Caribou brothers are sort of like prospects for the fake Straw Hat crew, and so they're just sort of like they're the muscle that the fakes need because they're not worth anything. they're worth like what, 26 million? That is what the fake captain ended up being worth.
Well, the fake captain ended up like shooting somebody who was worth 50 million. Like their bounty was 50 million because they were trying to recruit people that were over 70. So it's like, you're not worthy. Yeah. Shoots them, and he ends up having a bounty less than half of whatever that guy had. Pretty big asshole.
And it doesn't even matter what his name is because he gets arrested like immediately.
Yeah. Bounty reclaimed. Thank you. All right.
We got it.
When you look at what happened at Marineford and just being like, out of all the people I'm going to steal their identity from, and you go with the Straw Hats, I just don't know. I mean, really, I feel like I would have went with Moria because that guy's dead, allegedly.
We don't know.
That's what the Marines told us. The guy is deadzo. But I'm just saying, out of everybody you could have picked, you're gonna go with the people who have been they've they haven't been like quiet about trying to find Luffy, you know what I mean? And they're like, cool, we'll pick this crew, get the cred, and we'll have no problems from here on out.
Like, how do you not look at somebody with a $400 million bounty and go, I could do that? Like, what is the mindset of this idiot for this renown? Like, if their plan was to let everybody else do the work and sit back, when do you ever rest? You know?
Yeah. My argument too for Kaden saying that like they got to Sabaody, they you know, like they must have like a little bit of strength to get there, but like not everybody starts out in like the East Blue, you know, they could have already been.
Well, the
like,
thing is like
they could be from
the thing is
the Grand Line.
Paradise.
Here's the thing though. We do know how much the fake Straw Hats were worth. And it wasn't necessarily because they were the fake Straw Hats. It was because of the fact that, you know, they were pirates in their own right. None of them necessarily have a big bounty, but their captain does. Like, we see that. We see how much fake Luffy is worth. It's not worth a hell of a lot in comparison to, like, actual Luffy. But considering the fact that, you know, way back when, you know, Nami and Usopp would be like, they're worth 200,000? And it's like, well, yeah, I guess, yeah, they're worth 1 million? And it's like, this dude was worth what, like 26 million?
26? Yeah, I called it.
It's like, it's not an insignificant amount of money.
But
it is not an insignificant amount of money, especially for people who legitimately would run away and hide every fight. So for them to just kind of like roll in and be like, ha, and look, he just shot a dude who was worth double his money. He's not smart.
He's riding a bluff.
He may not be really strong, but he's conniving and clever.
We don't know much about this guy, but considering his nom de guerre is 3-tongued, that implies that he uses his mouth more to his advantage than his actions.
Before we get too far away from it, I wanted to bring up the Dunning-Kruger effect, if y'all remember what that is.
Go on.
So the Dunning-Kruger effect is a measurement of competence and confidence. Like, the more competent you are, the less confident you get until you become an expert. But if you have maximum confidence, you are likely very incompetent.
That's me.
No,
Molly, we started this podcast. We know what we are. We're chaotic competence, all right?
Oh.
So it's
very nice callback.
A complete lack of knowledge of the subject that you need to know gives you a lot of confidence. Like, I could do this. I see other people doing it, so I'm obviously great.
This is getting too real.
Every time on social media when someone's like, how hard could it possibly be to make a cartoon?
You push the anime button.
Oh my god! You have to draw. There's not just a button that make the character go.
Uh-oh. Are we going to do an offshoot podcast where we talk about people being dumb in animation? Probably.
Speaking of too real,
I'll never tell.
What do you mean? What do you mean voice acting is hard? You just talking in the microphone and then that's it.
Somebody jumped on the call. Sir.
How'd they get in here?
Yeah, how'd they get in here? This isn't a public.
Who's this nerd?
Yeah,
oh, man. It's that guy.
Kaden. Thank you, Kaden. Who is that nerd?
Who is that nerd?
So it's the same guy who infiltrated our Minecraft server. He's hacked us again.
Oh no, not again.
Anyway, Shabooty,
a kid from Roblox, run!
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That's the pro Roblox player is back. Where were we at? Beans. That's right. No,
beans.
Beans.
So
the confidence thing.
Let's forget about the Caribou Brothers and the fake Straw Hat crew for now because they're lame as all hell. Brook finishes up his show, and the Long Arm tribe that is just like, you're not getting away that easy.
His managers.
Yeah, his captors turned managers, you know. They sold him out to the Marines, but in the same way that Roger and Whitebeard declared that the One Piece is real, they were like, why are you coming back? Straw Hat Luffy is dead. Brook declares on mic to the broadcast as well as to like the people in the crowd, Straw Hat Luffy is alive and very well. to the entire world.
Yeah, at this point,
So,
Brooke is so famous
huge.
that everyone like follows his tour as it's happening. Like they want to see news of this rocking skeleton. So a lot of people hear that.
Yeah, it's like Dick Clark's last New Year's Eve show. They want to see the skeleton.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
Is that the line that I crossed? Is that
Yeah,
it?
censor that.
Making jokes about Dick Clark. Anyway.
No, it's
yeah.
Just surprised.
listen,
Scorched her.
the whole,
do it
just
again.
the moment of just like everybody just wants to see the skeleton, and my brain's just like, yeah, ooh, that is unsettling. And then I'm just like, ooh, that made me feel a little bad. And then I'm just like, but Brooke is a skeleton.
Yeah, no bones about it.
Everybody no bones about it. All right, get back to the podcast. Get back to the podcast.
What was that?
Get back.
I want an isolation of that laugh.
That
That
was
was
delight
a
and then
freestyle.
terror a little bit in there. Please
That was
don't kill
a
me.
freestyle of me. Nami, Chopper, and Usopp hit this, like, they don't hit they get back to the Sunny, and this is where we get Frank, like the boys meeting Frank and getting all freaked out about his nipple lights. The end.
The only update worth mentioning, I guess.
Yeah. Well, also Nami being like, Frankie, you look weird.
What?
Yeah. Oh, I thought, but then that countered by the boys being like, oh, you're the coolest. You're so cool. We get the most interesting woman in the world, Shaki, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay.
Oh my god!
And Rayleigh being like, hey, so the Marines are here. And then being like, oh, we gotta go, but we are not all met. So Chopper flies off on one of his bird friends that he met on his 2-year excursion. And Rayleigh teaches Nami how to pilot the ship when it's in bubble form, and how to, and Frankie for that matter too. And as that happens, oh my god. The crew takes that in. The Marines start to move in on the fakes that are all assembled on one of like 46. I forgot the like island 46 of the archipelago.
Sure.
And as that happens, everything starts to go to hell. Sentomaru and some of the pacifistas destroy fake Luffy, some of the crew members. Caribou goes rogue and starts killing Marines. And Luffy's just on stage like, why are these guys talking about me like just so freely? And so, he's wearing a fake mustache too. And he thinks it's totally working. Which it kind of is.
It did to a point.
But the pacifistas could still identify him as Straw Hat Luffy. And here's where we get, boom, reveal of the new design. He takes down a pacifista in 1 gear second punch, which is a big power jump. Sentomaru notices that he's using hockey, which is important. Zoro and Sanji each take down. He's a big, in Brazil, they love it. Zoro and Sanji take out a pacifista of their own, run for it. Luffy thinks Rayleigh.
They all one-hit pacifistas. The thing that was destroying them 2 years ago, they're just like, we can handle it now.
It was smart for them to give Luffy one, and then to give Zoro and Sanji each, or together,
a shared hit.
Yeah, a shared hit. It's like, I broke its neck. No, I cut it in half. So that you can see that they still stand below Luffy when it comes to like his second and third and the arms of the Pirate King, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, it also kind of clouds how much they've improved. You're not sure if they could have done it on their own. But
you're seeing them all, and this is what I mean about it being a tease, is you're seeing them use old, like, second tier moves. Like, Zoro didn't go into his Ashura form, and did Sanji have something past just Diablo Jamba? Like, didn't he have something else that he... Yeah, either way, it was just like a regular kick as opposed to like a special attack, and a regular slash as opposed to a special attack. I'm sorry, Molly, you were saying.
He got hot foot, and I think aesthetically they like to keep it with the hot foot.
Sanji cast hot foot.
He got that hot foot. I was just thinking about that Pokemon, that rabbit Pokemon, when you run too fast, his
Cinderace.
get hot.
Cinderace? And the middle,
yes.
his teenage form that I can't remember?
Raboot.
Stupid.
When's the Pokemon podcast? I can actually,
We'll get there.
we can. You know how many episodes of Pokemon there are? A lot.
We should just react to Caden Smash or Pass Twitch.
Come on, let me live.
You did it though.
Yeah, because my community is just like, I have to do Digimon tonight.
Yeah.
Be sure to subscribe to Caden's Twitch.
Yeah, make sure to go check out that VOD. Because boysy.
See who she's smashing, who she passing.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
No, it's good. I have the backups.
No, Caden.
No.
Exclusivity.
Caden's like, leave me alone, but I'm keeping this for me.
So she can fact check herself if she ever goes back on one that she says pass.
Everyone smashes Leomon. Luffy thanks Rayleigh.
Wow.
And
all right.
Everybody, if you say no, you're a liar. And we start to see you need to be more in touch with who you are as a person.
All right, please sign up for Mark's new show. You're gonna smash Leomon whether you like it or not.
we can shorten that name too. That's not the final. But Luffy thanks Rayleigh. God damn it, Luffy thanks Rayleigh. And we start to see all of the caretakers of the Straw Hat crew over these past 2 years create opportunities for the crew to get away. So we immediately bump into Perona, which we were talking about crew glow-ups, but in terms of glow-ups, what a glow-up. Like full Gothiel for if we're staying in Pokemon territory.
Gothitelle, but
Gothitelle,
okay.
Thank you. You're the Pokemon master.
Fully
not me,
bought everything on the shelf of that Hot Topic.
Absolutely.
Fully decked out.
And just the way that she was chastising Zoro, that might be the 2 years that I want to see the most. I want to see the rom-com, the friends, the whatever, the Three's Company of Zoro, Mihawk, and Perona. That sounds very interesting.
That
to
sounds
me.
like, okay, it sounds awful for Mihawk. It's like Mihawk says, like, I'm going to train you to be my disciple. And then Zoro's just like, there's also, she's here. It's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, she's kind of your problem now, too. It's like, no, that's not how this works. Like, yeah, well, I'm not going to take responsibility for any of this. I'm Zoro. Have you met me? I don't take responsibility for anything. And then Perona, she's just like, yeah, I'm kind of your problem now. You're like the authority here. This is your goth daddy castle. I don't know what the hell's going on here. So you're in charge now, and I'm your problem. And he's just like, oh
How
no.
do I reach
So
these
it's like
kids?
single father Mihawk.
Yes.
And his two hot topic children.
You guys are understanding now. You guys are getting it now. You see the potential now.
I would totally watch that show.
I like the idea of like the Jurassic World meme where it's like the raptors and it's like to him like being like, don't get any fucking closer, kids. It's like it's Zoro, it's Perona, and then in the middle is the monkeys.
Perona sends some negative hollows off against the Marines. The Flying Fish Riders pick up Brook from the stage.
Yeah.
And take him back.
What this feels like is that moment in an RPG where after you've done all the side missions and you're in like the final battle, everybody you talk to shows up. Oh, I remember them. I remember that.
The Flying Fish Riders drop off Brook, and he's back to his normal shenanigans when it comes to talking with women.
The first thing he says is
the thing that he says. But
Moving on.
As Chopper comes back with the boys, Hancock blocks the ships from the sea, and we see everybody's reaction to, well, first of all, Sanji continues to be problematic and loses blood, turns to stone, thank God, when seeing Big Mood, and everybody's reaction to Luffy being on the Amazon island. And I like Brook still being kind of that dirty old man, but just being like, holy God, she's beautiful. And Usopp being like, oh, I thought that was a myth. And then Sanji being turned to stone, thank God. And Luffy just being like, yeah, that's Hancock and the gals. They're great.
That's Hancock and these are my friends from, and Sanji's like, why couldn't I have gotten stuck there? It's like, you would have died.
You would have died.
You're lucky.
You would have
You're
been
lucky
killed day one.
You're lucky to still be here now. So shut your mouth.
I can't stress enough how I would love to be on the island where Sanji was to hang out with Inazuma and Ivankov.
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
See?
I want a show about Inazuma. I want a show about Creamsicle. I want my Creamsicle show. I want it. What a cool character. Okay, cool. I'm done talking about Inazuma again.
One of the bits of hope that I got from Sanji departing from the Kamabaka Kingdom ship was him being grateful and being like, please give Ivankov my best, please. But then everything else is just a rocket into the ground. He needs to stop. He's problematic as all hell.
Mm-hmm.
We see Heracles has sent giant insects loose on the Marines.
Heracles.
Thank you. The weather wizards send thunderstorms to strike the Marines, and the aforementioned citizens of the Kamabaka Kingdom also attack to clear the way. And Brooks fans keep the Marines busy at the concert venue. And as the bubbles fill up, the we go hits again. Like, we go hit when Luffy revealed himself, and that was like cool, hype. And then as they're getting away, we go hits again, and hype. They descend into the sea, and we are on our next journey. Something that I wanted to touch on. The time around this episode is releasing. It will be... This is going to be a little real, and I apologize, but there's a good reason. It'll be 2 years since the beginning of the pandemic. And Oof. I say that because this whole mini arc hit on a completely different level.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Well, think about it. Everybody reuniting after 2 years of not seeing each other hit so much harder in 2022. And seeing the joy and the tears and the embraces, it was so relatable. Because I've had, and I don't want to speak for the rest of y'all, but I've been lucky enough to have a lot of those opportunities to be able to see the people that I haven't seen. And it added such an extra appreciation for this whole show, this whole adventure, and the fact that we're talking about this episode now is...
One Piece is always relevant.
In some way, it's so crazy how it ends up being relevant. It's somehow timely and timeless. Did anybody else make that realization, or did this hit? How did this hit for you now?
Well, like I will say, like, we give Chopper crap, but like, in the 2 years since the Panini started, there's especially because for whatever reason, artists don't post photos of themselves on their socials. It's like, it's not really my fault.
Perceive this cartoon.
It's not really my fault when I can't recognize another person, when I can't see their face, but there's definitely been times during the Panini where people have approached me and like I know them, but like it's been so long that I don't remember what they look like and I don't know who they are. So I'm gonna give Chopper partial credit.
Just hung out with a bunch of strangers you thought were your good friends from high school, and that was not the case.
The one thing I feel like with One Piece is that they have the ability to call each other. I guess they just didn't have each other's numbers while they were on different places.
Yeah, there's specific, like, you have to give them connected Denden Mushis.
Yeah. So it could have been less bad, but also they probably were able to focus more when Usopp couldn't make prank phone calls to Luffy while he's in the middle of his hockey training.
I mean, I think they also would have had to know where they were to send something to them. Because whatever Frankie was working on, he could have been like, oh, by the way, I've made cell phones. Here you go.
It's true. But he didn't.
But he didn't.
On purpose.
Any other thoughts, final thoughts about the return to Sabaody?
I do want to talk about that 2-year gap too, because there was just something that, and I kind of liked the way that, like, I know we are still mid Panini, and we need to understand that. We are absolutely still mid Panini. But the fact that it was just like, oh, it's 2 years later, what changed? And for literally everybody, especially because like it's weird. There was a world shaking and defining moment that happened, and then things just got real quiet in the world of One Piece after that whole moment happened with Luffy. That whole thing happened, and everything shook the world, and then things got quiet, and people didn't do a lot of stuff. But quietly, very, very, very softly, and very personally, people grew. People grew in the way that they wanted to grow. They felt like, and especially this is especially seen with the the Straw Hats, since they're our focal point. But it's like we're gonna see that more, and I'm positive of it, that we're gonna see what everybody else was quietly up to for all these years. But to see them be more of themselves. Sanji not included in this because he's a garbage piece of dumpster trash. But seeing, Zoro, understand himself better, not just his skills, but his role with the ship and with the rest of the crew, and his connection with Chopper, and his connection with, even with Sanji, and with the rest of the crew and everything like that. Usopp shaking off and still embracing his own fears and using that to fuel him. It hit in a way that was just, I didn't fully like get it in the moment. It took me going back and kind of like looking over everything again. It was such a weird thing to look at, in the sense of where we are now in the world, and seeing these characters do something very similar, where it's just like, you know what? Fight back. You can be happy and still, push forward, and not just rest on the things and just like resting on the laurels of how things always were and everything like that. It's like, it is going to be a difficult road ahead of you. It's like progress is always going to be difficult and wrought with challenges. But to see these characters come back 2 years later, not only ready, but even stronger, was kind of something I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Was they stopped looking down at their feet and they started looking out at the horizon. And
you just killed me.
Wow.
Damn,
if that's not a metaphor for this Panera bread that we just are halfway through that half a sandwich soup combo.
I need macaroni and cheese in a bread bowl.
Bread bowl.
Oh god. Yeah, reset me. I'm back. Jokes. Haha, I'm a skeleton. What?
It's just nice because like we've gone through 2 or 3 arcs now where the Straw Hats just be losing, and it's like we feel better, like you want them to do well, but it's like after seeing them just like drop the mic in Sabaody, you're like, okay, I think it's gonna be okay, you guys. Like I think
we're gonna be all right.
I think it's gonna be okay.
We're gonna be all right.
They actually did their. It took them 2 years, but they did their homework.
Do not tell the Straw Hats there's 500 more episodes and we're still not even close. Don't tell them.
Well, I think Luffy would be happy with that. He doesn't want like the journey to be over tomorrow,
No.
Yeah, but they be tired.
He's gonna be like, they're gonna get to the One Piece. They're gonna get to the One Piece, and Luffy's like, "Cool, we did that. Hey, do you guys want to go to Taco Bell back in the East Blue and then just have 1,000 more chapters to get to the Taco Bell?"
Listen, Luffy's gonna shake his hat, and the One Piece is gonna fall out of it, and it's like, oh, there it is.
Oh, it was there the whole time. Weird.
Well, I know we said that other prediction was the most, but this. Oh my god!
Like there's a map inside the hat somehow, and everybody missed it. It's like, oh, we could have just gone there. It was across the street the whole time.
What if it was like in the hat, but like when Nami first fixes the hat way in the beginning, she finds it and is like, "Oh, we're not doing this," and like hit it because it was gonna be too dangerous.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna write up this fanfic right now.
Well, I'm feeling a lot more emotional than I thought we'd be feeling at the end of this episode. Yeah, I went back and I, when we recap some of this stuff that we haven't watched in a bit, I try to make sure to go back and read a little bit, go back and watch a little bit, and especially since this was technically like 5 episodes, right? Like 5-6 episodes.
It's very short, but a lot happens.
Exactly, it's very dense, and that serotonin. That serotonin, I absolutely needed it.
Sweet serotonin.
It's serotonin because they shared the journeys that they took a solo with each other. So it's serotonin.
Yeah. Yeah.
We love to see it.
Yeah, I'm just looking out to that horizon. I'm going to boot up Sea of Thieves as soon as
Look what you did, Al.
Al, that was so beautiful. Holy cow. Like, profound and like, put that on a t-shirt. No. Caden, do you want to do any predictions this round, or do you want to wait until you're a little bit further on?
I want to wait till I'm a little bit further off because I have some stuff that I really want to think about.
She thinking.
Yeah. So we're going to
thinking.
We don't know what episode we're going to do next, and I guess we have to have a meeting about that just because time is a cruel thing.
Time is a flat circle. It's also relative and a social construct, and it doesn't exist.
And it's wibbly wobbly. So we need to have a quick meeting. But also before we have that meeting,
before we define time,
let's shout out our socials and what we're up to real quick. Caden, let's start with you.
So you can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitch. And that's Caden Jensen, KDINJENZEN. I'm on Twitch a lot now. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I've been doing a lot of things like Smash or Pass, and I've discovered and I say discovered as if I didn't already know about it, but I've kind of dipped my toe into a little bit of crowd control because I like a little chaos. If you haven't noticed the podcast, please come hang out, come join all of that nonsense if you haven't already. We're having fun.
At least some of them. That laugh.
Molly's remembering dating Grunkle Stan. That's what's happening.
No, that's less of like a nervous laugh and more of a hee hee.
Molly, the VOD disagrees with you.
I think we're putting that up next, by the way. Jesus.
I'll never tell.
I'm just looking at how big and thick those waveforms are. Oh my god.
Thick.
Al, how about you?
You can follow me most anywhere at Al McClelland Jr. That's ALMCCLELLANDJR. Good luck.
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Mark B. Donica. I'm going to mention Twitch in a second, but Al and I have been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves on our Twitch, and it's so much fun. Please like follow us for all of us, but I think Sea of Thieves might be the game that we've played the most. I think it is now tied with Minecraft and Uno for the 3 games that we've played the most. So
Sea of Uno Craft.
Sea of Uno Craft. And we're going to start adding more members to that crew, aren't we?
Wink.
Oh, wait. What? Oh, crap.
Well, that's right. I'm a pirate.
While you consider that, Captain, how about you? What about your socials?
You can find me on Twitter at Teflod, TEHFLOD. And you can Now we're getting punchy.
Perfect energy for this next recording we're doing.
The buggy boys are teeing off each other. And you can find me on Tumblr, Molly Flood, Molly Cave Flood, depending on what you're looking for. And we have a Yayo Talk Show Tumblr, so come follow us if you want the memes and fan art, etc., etc.
Going along with how most arcs and sagas have ended, now that you've listened to the episode, you've joined the crew. So with
the whole episode,
damn it, with the
intro and outro.
Listen to the whole thing, including the theme song. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, following us on Twitter and Twitch at Yayo Talk Show, and letting Caden watch the show in one piece. So come aboard, and we'll see you next time on Yayo Talk Show.
Talking about One Piece.